speeding. That sound is speeding. CJ, can we hit record on that?
Yes, sir.
Camera speed.
Which way do you want me
speed.
to look? Do you care? Do you want to just look
Just
at
look
Kay?
at him, yeah. So, am I in frame in both?
Yeah, a little look. Yep.
You have a little more to the yeah, there.
Okay. This is Doug Neal, interview, take one.
All right, Doug, say your name.
Hi, I'm Doug Neal.
All right. Tell me about your first encounter with Hollywood in Pixels. What was your initial impression? And did you think this crazy idea of preserving marketing history would actually work?
I guess I was attending one of the very first awards nights. Must have been maybe the second year when I think it was Dwight was being honored, and it was in a smaller museum in Culver City, and went to enjoy the celebration and the honor, and looked around and saw that there were people from all across the industry that had gathered, and it wasn't just from studios, but it was our marketing reps, promotional partners, creative agencies that had come together, and that had really not had happened prior to this time, and that's something that Hollywood in Pixels really was at the forefront of bringing these different communities together. While they're competitors, they're also sharing ideas and advancing our cause, because we were all in this fight together to bring digital to the forefront. Okay.
You did.
I don't think I was invited to your dinner. I don't think I was invited. I did. Or maybe they did it in the closet. I don't know where they did yours. You know, it's like. I mean, it's like it has grown a lot from when
I think the first one that I was at was in this old, I don't know what it was. It must have been a dance studio.
Okay.
There were only like 20 people there.
Mine was
I
at.
love Bettina.
Mine was at Facebook, which was and it was a nice space, but it was Facebook had donated it, and it's like but it wasn't taking over the big rooms that they're taking over these days.
So Gordon was there when Debbie Allen did us a favor?
That
All right. Describe a moment at a Hollywood in Pixels event, maybe Silver Pixel Awards, a workshop, or just networking, where you thought, this is exactly why this organization matters.
Hollywood in Pixels brings together communities that don't normally talk to each other. The movie marketing business is very competitive, and everybody wants to win. That's the mantra. Who won the box office this weekend? And we're all very proud of the work that we have done and how we have helped to further the success of a movie. Hollywood in Pixels brought people together where we could actually admire other people's work, and it's that respect that you show to your competitors. And as much as we may be jealous sometimes of their performance, we're also in awe of how creative they are and the work that they've done. And Hollywood Pixels broke down that barrier of there being that competitiveness, and instead it was a chance for celebration and advancement for all of us and the work that we were doing.
So one of the things that I think about with that is that I think that we went from the era where if you were like Gordon and you were willing to try a thing, people would say, "Oh, you're so amazing! You're willing to call the service provider and get them to put an ISDN line in," right? To very quickly, my kid has an iPod. How hard could technology be?
Yes.
Right? And I think that one of the other pieces to your point about like folks, being in awe of each other, is that this is the one community that appreciates the degree of difficulty when you get something done.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's like we know it's not easy to pull off some of these campaigns that have been done. Yeah.
Okay. Hollywood in Pixels has been called a digital archaeology project. What's the most important artifact from your career that you're glad Hollywood in Pixels is preserving?
Marketing has transformed over the last 25 years as a result of the digital technology and innovation that has been out there. And movie marketing has been at the forefront of it. I think actually leads in terms of different sectors that many of the people that are attending Hollywood and Pixels events are at the forefront of their own industries, whether they're publishing partners or creative agencies, because they're doing things that haven't been done before, because studios want to take the risk and they want to get out there and try things. And it's everything from how it's evolved with just broadband accessibility, iPhones, all the social media sites, data collection, data capture, data access. But from a personal standpoint, one of the campaigns that I think felt most like innovative and leading was with this guy, TED. When we did TED, social was really taking off. People were very involved, and Twitter was really coming into its own. What we hadn't seen as much at that point was the use of social as a way to extend story and to kind of bring people into the lives. And we did that very successfully with our partners, Jet Set. JP Richards, who is a colleague of mine, is also a Pixel honoree. We worked on a campaign to bring what Ted said to life. And it was Ted's Twitter speak. And it was raw, uncensored. It was just out there. That the studio was a little worried about what he was going to say, but we worked with Seth MacFarlane and his writers to just have this mind dump of Ted talking, and it just generated a lot of interest and conversation and got people talking about the movie beyond what they would normally talk about. And I think that was like an application of how social can help tell the story that you're trying to convey beyond just putting an ad out there. Okay, the secret word is Pattison. How do I get Pattison into this conversation? Okay. Or Atsko. We'll see how that would be. Right.
Isn't that another movie with a bear?
Part?
Pattison? Isn't that another movie with a bear?
Paddington.
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 Oh,
Yeah.
Paddington.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
There
right.
we go.
Yeah.
I need to watch that. All right.
Hollywood in Pixels has created this incredible community of people who might never have connected otherwise, and we talked about that dynamic of kind of competition versus celebration. Can you tell me about a relationship or a collaboration that happened because of Hollywood in Pixels?
Hollywood in Pixels, again, brings together a community and a chance for people who work in the industry to connect when they otherwise wouldn't normally have had that opportunity. I worked at Universal Pictures for many years, but I also taught entertainment and digital marketing at UCLA. And in that class, we would bring in innovators and people that had worked in the industry. And several of my speakers were ones that I had met through Hollywood and Pixels. Jess Thurber, Cameron Curtis, Gordon Pattison was one of the ones quoted in the textbook. And again, these are people that I wouldn't necessarily have known just from my own career without having that connection point through Hollywood and Pixels.
When you think about Hollywood in Pixels' 10-year journey, what makes you most proud to have been part of this community?
I think I do, one, give a shout out to Bettina Sherrick. The work and her commitment is really so impressive. She saw the vision for what this could be and stuck with it, and has been able to achieve, I think, more than what any of us could have thought was going to be possible. And she's brought, through Hollywood and Pixels, she's brought different groups together. She has instituted the archive project so that the work that is being done is remembered. This is a whole new facet to marketing, and it could have easily have been forgotten, but because of that work, it's not being, and it's something that will be remembered. And so, again, this was because of Bettina's vision, but all the work of the people in the room that helped to contribute to that.
10 years from now, what do you hope people will say about Hollywood and Pixels' impact on the community?
Well, what I'd like to think is that digital marketing's work will be etched in stone. For so long, digital marketing was sitting at the kids' table. They might get a courtesy invite to meetings, and oh yeah, what's that website going to be? But digital marketing is leading the forefront now. Digital marketing is what opens campaigns and opens movies. And the work that Hollywood and Pixels is doing and has done is showing that impact and showing how the transformation has occurred. And so hopefully 10 years from now, Hollywood and Pixels will be one of the go-to places and sources for understanding what has really transformed the industry.
If you were giving advice to someone just starting their career in entertainment marketing today, what would you tell them about the importance of understanding the industry's history?
I think one of the challenges and opportunities with a new graduate, somebody that enters the industry, is that they're digital natives. They grew up in the digital world and don't necessarily appreciate what your ancestors had to go through in order to get you here. But I think just understanding that it wasn't always social media wasn't always available. There wasn't always the opportunity for creating viral and shareable sites and shareable moments and memes, and people couldn't watch video on their phones. We're in a world that provides that for you, but what I would hope they would understand is that you've got to always be ahead of the curve, and that what it is today is not what it's going to necessarily be in 10 years. And so we've saw that happen just in the last 20 years in terms of how things have evolved. And I think they have to, I would hopefully understand that don't be complacent, because there's going to be some other wave of technology or innovation that's going to come along, and you want to be able to ride that wave.
If you could commission Hollywood in Pixels to preserve one specific aspect of today's digital marketing landscape for future generations, what would it be and why?
I would encourage Hollywood in Pixels to continue to preserve the innovation that has taken place within the digital community. The digital marketers are really at the leading forefront of just how to market and create brands and create movies and open films, and those moments, what they do with those campaigns is something that people beyond the film industry can learn from. And I think the more that they do that, the more that they capture and archive those kind of milestones, will be something that's incredibly invaluable for everybody.
All right. Last thing I want to ask you, which is more off the cuff. Imagine that all the people who have ever come to a Pixel Awards, all the people who have been recognized, all the people who have had their work archived, they have a chance to hear from you. What would you say to them by way of us getting this far to 10 years? Like, what would you say?
I think the big thing I'd say is never give up. And I know that, again, Bettina's been the force behind everything, but she never took no for an answer. She was somebody that kind of kept moving forward because she had a vision. And I think that that's really one of the big learning points out of this, is that she understood the impact that the digital community was having in marketing and the need to preserve that. And she kept growing and kept doing more with it to enhance and build from that. And I think that's something that we can all learn from, is that just keep at it. If you believe in what you're doing, it's worth pursuing.
All right. That's it. We're good. Thank you,
All right.
Doug.
All right.